beginning to the end, just hypnotizing.
I feel better about the world. I feel uplifted.
It touches you. It really does. Every American needs to see it.
Thank you very much to the director and whoever created it.
It's just amazing. I don't even know what astounding. I don't know another word to describe it.
In due parole, divino.
Divino. They want to put an ad on him and show it. It's actually quite beautiful.
And the expertise of the dancers was really, really strong.
The men, when they jump, they just popped right off the stage.
So athletic and so flexible.
The ladies, how they moved, was just, they were just floating on air. It was really special to see. Everyone moves as one person, and I thought they executed that wonderfully. It was just gorgeous.
And then the orchestra, it kept you in the show.
And just to hear all of the Chinese instruments
Oh,
meshing
wow.
so beautifully with the Western instruments, it was so magical.
To know that it was live music was really fantastic.
The colors are so spectacular. The saturation of colors that contrast each other, and the backgrounds are made to sort of amplify that. It makes you feel good just to see the image of it all unfold.
The animation is fantastic. The screams and how the characters are animated come down and then all of a sudden they pop out.
It sort of transformed it into this whole other plane.
The music and the dance and just being able to see everything, the stories behind it, and how they develop it without saying anything is just amazing.
What you're seeing in Shenyun is an educational experience. You get to learn a little bit about Mandarin. You get to learn a little bit about ethnicity, a little bit about culture.
We're learning so much and being entertained all at the same time.
You think you're just seeing movement and grace, but you're actually getting a message that's stronger about how to live and how to be on this planet. And it's not that complicated, right? To be kind, to be generous, to be compassionate.
Shenyun is trying to reestablish a brilliant, brilliant heritage of 5,000 years of culture, dance, music, and costume. This is the real China, and it's being suppressed.
This is something that is to make people spiritual and to be the best possible versions of themselves and live in this enlightened way. And you're persecuted for that, and that was one of the things that really hit me from the performance.
It's bringing the heart of true China to the public. It was beautiful.
It's just beautiful, and you go away feeling with a smile in your heart from it.
As somebody who's worked with major artists, like I said, who's watched months and months of rehearsal come to fruition on stage, their execution has been perfect. Absolutely outstanding.
It's incredible. You cannot describe that in words. You have to see it. Totally supported.
We didn't want to miss this. Have to come. Life-changing.
Come see it.
Make sure you see it. Make sure you see it.
It's a must-see show.
It's a must-see. Must-see.
Multiple times.
Everyone should see this. We need this in our lives.
How we doing with the volume? Okay. Yeah, I really like that ad. They usually show more of the dancing, but I really just wanted to show that, so. Certain ads I really like. Anyways. How's everybody doing? How you doing? I'm doing terrific. Got a great job. We're working the job. What was I gonna go to? What was I gonna do? Oh wait, it's right here. Bum 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 bum. I have a terrific job, which I believe at this point perfectly supplements game dev, so I am super excited. On my feet all day, losing weight. There's no way I would put myself through that, like, without the other motivation of earning money to do it. and making some great new friends at work and stuff, and meeting people, and it's really good. So anyways, I'm working on the Space Trader as well, which I have been going through with ChatGPT, and I just decided, you know, I really need to do the game design document on this, and I really wanted to work with ChatGPT on this, because I have an extensive conversation going with ChatGPT, and I've kept it going on purpose. If you look at the slider for this one, there's a lot to this conversation. The slider is way down there. You can't even see it. And it's just all of this. It won't even let me slide it up because it's got GUI issues. There we go. See, it's quite extensive. See, and I've written about everything. It helped me improve quite a bit. Improved indie game dev. It doesn't even title. Okay, I was just working on it and telling it, you know, basically lately, any new thoughts about the game, any new thoughts about the Space Trader, the voxels, and in general my projects, I've been telling it to this particular conversation. And so it's a pretty valuable conversation for me. I should probably copy and paste it all and just put it into a thing, but I'm just going to leave it here, and I don't know if it ever gets deleted from the ChatGPT, then that would kind of suck, but I don't think that'll happen. So we're working on these things. So far I've gotten these little paragraphs and stuff that I've kind of changed very slightly, not very much at all, from ChatGPT prompts. The overview of the game summary, the objective of the game, the target audience, which I thought this was really cool, the target audience, but I mean, it really just kind of opens your eyes about who is going to be playing your game, who's going to be interested, and I hadn't really just kind of thought about it, hadn't really, let me turn down my volume here on my headset. There we go. Hadn't really thought about it, but it is good to think about what kind of gamer is going to be interested in your game. In your video game experience that you create. I'm in a weird mood. Today is going to be my Wednesday at work. So I work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Excuse me. And the way things work, it is my supervisor's Friday. It is, I worked with 4 people yesterday. And so it's 2 of those people's Friday today. And then it's the 3rd person's Friday tomorrow. And then it is my Friday on Wednesday. And that's just what's going through my mind. It's kind of good. And then each new day, of course, new people will come into the shift. It's kind of interesting the way it works, but anyway. Okay, key features of the game. See, I love how this gets me thinking about it. Because instead of spending the time coding and putting together something that maybe won't actually be in the final game, same thing with this, but I want to get my brain flowing. I want to get the player experience, inspiration, platform, the introduction, platform, development software, genre, target audience. Oh, okay, so we got the target audience there. So what I did, I can tell you really quickly. I asked for a basic outline of a game design document. Oh, and ChatGPT gave me the basic outline for a game design document. And now I'm asking it for individual points that it brought up. Excuse me, that it had brought up, showed me, outlined. ChatGPT outlined this. So now key features of the game, let's see. This might be a long stream. I'm not going to do a quick stream with this. So key features of the game, what part of this gameplay overview? So let's go with that. Key features of the game, gameplay overview. So I always ask it this. Imagine you're an expert indie game developer working with me on the Sudi Space Trader. We are working in the game design document. There we go. So we're just going to keep asking it these prompts here. We can do without the logo there, computer. We're fine. There. We're working on the game design document. So now, describe the key elements of the game. Is that what he said? Key features. Features. And in this other game design document, this was called the gameplay overview. Okay. This one's from Thor. This is from Thor's develop.games website. So if you go down here to game dev, streaming, game jam, I think it's... Where does he give you the game design document? I think it's in the game jam. What is a jam game design document? It's in here somewhere. It's like the first. Read a sample GDD here, and this is what it is. So where's the gameplay overview? Here it is. Okay, the player controls a mass of cells, each with individual status, moves as a collective. Okay. So gameplay overview. Describe the key features of the game. Describe the key features of the gameplay. Or an overview. An overview. Let's just say it like that. I know it's not perfect saying, but it's a prompt, so. I like how it thinks longer. Uh-oh. I may have left out based on this conversation. Look how slowly it's coming through. Ba-ba. Alright, we'll let it work on that. It's going to take some time to get that coming through. I think they slowed it down because they have massive amounts of whatever you call it. Oh. Got some friends on. I kind of want to invite them to a private clash, but they may be clashing and computer, the screen is so bright. These websites that really don't think about dark mode. Sorry, CodinGa, but you don't. Because I don't have dark mode. If you thought about dark mode, I would have dark mode. Hello. Okay. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. And then integer n for the number of items, the items on your shopping list, an integer line n plus 1. Wait, the next n lines, the items on your shopping list. N plus 1 and integer c for the number of items in the store. Next c lines, this next n lines, I don't think that's a string separate of the space with the integer cost. Weird stuff. Anyways, I was thinking about that while we're waiting for ChatGPT. Oh. Key features and then an overview at the bottom. That's great. Players will engage in trading goods and resources with various factions and characters throughout the game world. Factions and stuff. That's a great idea. See, a lot of this stuff is for later on in the game development because we're not going to release it with factions. We're going to release it with maybe one trader, one weird little guy, and I don't know. Players will be able to explore the vast procedurally generated 3D voxel universe. Actually, yeah, even though it's going to be planet per planet, starting out at 300 by 300. So, discovering new planets and interacting with alien species. That is a great idea too, because the players, I'm thinking initially they're going to be like villagers, but what makes it so they have to be like all the same? So alien species, they can be like, we can procedurally generate the NPCs. That'd be awesome. Okay, because they're just going to be little voxel dudes. Players will have the ability to engage in space combat with other ships using weapons and defenses to emerge victorious. I don't think we're going to have that. I don't think we're going to have that, especially not at first. What would be exciting is to add that to multiplayer, but not at first. Customization. Players will be able to customize their spaceship. Oh, that's cool too, and that's a great idea. See, these are things that I've just touched on, and ChatGPT is just like... Excuse me. ChatGPT is just like not coughing or whatever directly into the microphone. But I'm doing that, so we're good. Players will be able to customize the spaceship, upgrade their weapons, engines, and more to create a unique playing experience. And their holds, the amount of holds they can hold and all that fun stuff. The upgrades for trading, like you can create, yeah, there'll be a whole bunch of things. Players will be able to complete quests and missions for various characters in the game world, earning rewards and advancing the storyline. I would say changing the stock market instead of advancing the storyline, but we could eventually have like an underlying storyline, but it's pretty much going to be the Pikmin storyline of you start out with a debt and you have to pay it off. Okay, so the economy. The game will feature a dynamic economy that changes based on player actions and choices. Excuse me. Allowing for emergent gameplay and opportunities for profit. What is this here? Changes based on player actions and choices. Yeah, see, this is what I was talking about up here, advancing the storyline, but this is it. Yeah, changing the economy. Yeah, that'd be really interesting to add. Players will be able to gather resources and craft new items and upgrades for their spaceship and equipment. Yes, there will be rabbit holes, but they will not feel grindy. Hopefully not. Overall, the 2D Space Trader with 3D voxel worlds aims to offer players a rich, immersive space trading experience filled with adventure, customization, and strategy. Yeah, okay, I like that. That's cool. Okay, key features. Boop. Let's see if we can do this here. So, key features of the game. Add that like that. We don't need to have that. Here we go. Factions and characters. Voxel universe. Ships. Weapons. Characters in the game. Okay, so the one thing I wanted to advance the storyline. No, we could leave that in because eventually we could have a storyline that would be really cool, like No Man's Sky. Okay. And that's fine. Key features of the game. Let's go F overview. Actually, let's just go like this. See, this is what I need to spend my time doing, because once I've got a good picture of the game in my head, then I'll be more motivated to work on it. And as I'm working on the game design document, it allows me to put that picture together. Alright, I know I just had some orange juice, but let me go grab some water as well. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. I got up to get some water and there's actual sunshine outside. So I went and got some sunshine. Okay, I don't know that ChatGPT is going to come up with anything really helpful with this one, but let's see. Because I think this is really all in my imagination, which is great. See, I'm just brainstorming as I'm writing all this out. Let's see what that that was just a quick, yeah. Space Trader, yeah. It picked up on the fact that that's a central aspect of the gameplay because that's kind of, you know, in the title. There will be a variety of trading opportunities available to the player. The trading stations located on different planets. The player will encounter multiple traders, aliens, residents, managers, security officers, and cleaning crew. I just thrown it in there as an overview of these trading stations. You could have just put, yeah. Anyways, each with their own unique trading enhancing missions for the player. That's what I said. In addition, the player may also encounter random NPC traders on planets without trading stations. The player will have to use their skills and knowledge to negotiate the best deals, make the most of the trading opportunities available to them. The diverse range of traders and dynamic trade scenarios will add depth and variety to the trading system, providing an immersive and challenging experience for the player. Oh, yeah. So I was just kind of brainstorming, and it just kind of it made what I said sound better. See, I never would have thought about this before, but it kind of can provide an interesting aspect to, you know, the black trade market and stuff that's going to go on. That'd be kind of cool. See, this is really great to have this game design document because now if I want to throw in some ideas, I can kind of, they're a little bit more organized. Like if I want to throw in the idea of, like, let's say right here, idea, black market trading. And the idea of security or police in the game, working to support. Hey, Shigaman. Hey Jeff, are you gonna share revenue with ChatGPT when you release the game? I share everything with ChatGPT. And at this point, we're just hoping to have revenue when I when I release the game. So we'll see. But I'm fine with using the free version of ChatGPT. There's a $20 version that'll give you, you know, whatever it gives you, the priority access and higher up in the queue or whatever. But I'm fine with the free version. So we're taking handouts from ChatGPT basically, and we're running with it. So how you doing? How you doing? Oh, excuse me. Welcome to the stream. I'm just slept pretty well. I'm awake way early before my work shift, so I thought, why not stream for, I don't know, how long? Let's see, overview of the exploration system. Now, I really hadn't thought about that. Because mostly I just want it to be the 2D in 2D space. But then we can also have, you know, portals and stuff. We can have other dimensions like Minecraft does. Okay, so let's see. New prompt. Here we go. Describe the exploration system. The base of the exploration system is the 2D planet, planetary systems. I don't know, I just thought of that, but we're just brainstorming this, we'll see. We'll see what he comes up with here, ChatGPT, the free chat. Bum ba bum ba ba dum. Ba 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 bum. Okay, designed to offer players a vast and diverse intergalactic environment. Wow. This sounds so amazing. I'm not going to be able to live up to it. To discover and interact with, the player can explore 2D planetary systems, planets, moons, stars, asteroids, other space anomalies such as portals. Each world presents unique opportunities for the player, whether it be discovering hidden treasures, encountering crafty thieves, or finding portals to other dimensions or galaxies. Oh. The player is free to explore and uncover the secrets of the universe as they progress through the game. Exploration system will be intuitive, easy to navigate, allowing players to fully immerse themselves in the world and uncover its secrets. Oh. You know, chat, I think you've got it. I think you've nailed it on the head. No, this is really good for me to do this game design document. Really focuses my mind on really the idea of the game rather than just coding random stuff and then thinking about what the game's going to be later. This goes against my natural instinct, as I just want to code, and experiment, but there's something to be said for the game design document. Describe the exploration system. Okay. There isn't a focus on combat as it will. A minor objective at best, at most. We'll be able to destroy asteroids in space. Elements and ores. What else? Players could have negative interactions with NPCs, such as dishonorable traders. So, how many years for chat to replace game designers, you think? Oh, I have no idea. It's really game designers. I don't know. You'd have to feed it knowledge of the games that are currently out there, and then it could come up with some new games. That's what I was trying to do too. But yeah, a game design prompt engineer. That's the new job it'll create. Players could have negative interactions with NPCs, dishonorable traders, and reap rewards for serving justice, working along with police in certain situations. Meet hostile or peaceful creatures like mobs in Minecraft and receive a reward for... An alien animal hunter quest. Anyways, see, I just kind of brainstorm as I'm working on this. And then ChatGPT just makes it sound all better and great and wonderful. Combat system is an optional aspect of the game rather than the main focus. Optional, perfect. That's exactly what I meant. Optional. So it's not going to really be necessary if you don't want to do any of this. But it'll be there because it'll be fun and cool. So players will have the ability to destroy asteroids, obtain resources from their destruction. Interaction with NPCs such as traders and alien creatures can result in both positive and negative outcomes. See, there you go. Including rewards for serving justice. That's exactly perfect. Working with the police or hunting and harvesting resources from alien creatures. Oh, that's awesome. See, I never would have thought about that had I not gone through this. The combat aspect of the game serves as a way to expand the player's options and add variety to the experiences in the game, but is not intended to be the central focus. The addition of an alien animal hunter quest adds another layer of challenge and excitement to the player's journey, offering unique and interesting gameplay element. That's cool. That is cool. See this stuff? Okay, this is exactly what this is exactly what I need, because it is, I can tell it's adding to my motivation to want to work on the game. Which is exactly what I need, my motivation. This is how I work on my motivation. That's why the game design document is so key to making a game. Okay, let's keep going. I really wasn't going to do much with this, and we're already at 40 minutes already? Oh, wow. Alright. Crafting system. What else was in this one? Gameplay overview, theme interpretation. Primary mechanics. Secondary. See, this is what we need to work on here too. Primary and secondary mechanics and stuff like that. Where's the overview of the character progression, inventory and management. Okay, so let's add, because we're kind of talking about that here, with the trading and the exploration and the combat and questing system. I would like to add something about the questing system. And I would also like to add wait, what was I just thinking of? The primary and secondary mechanics. Secondary mechanics. Like Survival. Food. Oxygen. Fuel. You know, I gotta tell you, when I looked at this, I didn't think there would be anything. And in fact, this is perhaps one of the more interesting paragraphs that I've come up with. And just kind of, maybe I was thinking of making a boring game. But I think adding some things like this into the game would be fun. Fun to program and fun to play. See, that's what I want to do. I want to make a game that is fun to play. For me. And then other people will obviously, hopefully enjoy it. Another aspect, let's see, what is this? Yeah, gameplay mechanics. Art style. Character and ship design. Visual style. Let's go alien NPC. Visual. Their personality. Have that in there. Overview of the crafting system. Okay, that's cool. Character progression system. Interesting. Well, this is the ship. Yeah. Let's put ship abilities there. Overview of the crafting system. Yeah, see, crafting and creating things. Slavic Dota, add a dynamic damage counter. Cool. How's it going, Slavic? Welcome to the stream. A dynamic damage counter? Here we go. We're adding a dynamic damage counter, Slavic. See what ChatGPT says. Tracks the damage dealt by the player and their enemies. This can be done in several ways, depending on the complexity you want to achieve. Basic damage counter. Simple way to implement a damage counter is to increment a value each time the player and enemy deals damage. This value can be displayed on the screen and updated in real time. Advanced damage counter. You can expand upon the basic damage counter by creating a more robust system that takes into account the type of weapon used, the strength of the attacker, and any defenses or armor that the defender may have. This information can be used to calculate a damage multiplier and display the total damage dealt on the screen. Cool. To make the damage counter more engaging, you can animate the numbers, add sound effects, or display different animations or graphics depending on the damage dealt. For example, when the player deals a critical hit, you can display a special animation or a larger number. This is it. Cool. This could totally be networked damage counter. If your game supports multiplayer, you can create a network damage counter that tracks and displays damage dealt by players across all connected clients. This can be done by sending damage information over the network and updating the counter in real time on each client. Number 2, yeah. Actually, I can see having a 1 and a 2, and then also, of course, 3 because, of course. And then eventually multiplayer. I do want to go multiplayer with this eventually, if not from the start. Just thinking about multiplayer now. I want to add that to the game design document. So let's go with overview of the combat system. Let's add that as an extra idea. Let's go like this. Ba, 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 ba. I think that's a great idea. Initially, when I read what ChatGPT said about it, I thought about the F3 debug in Minecraft, the F3 screen, and I thought, well, we could have a damage counter in there, but I think having something like that might be really, even though the combat system is going to be optional, I think it would make it more fun. Thank you for that, Slavic Dota. Really appreciate it. What brings you to the stream? How are you? What's happening, man? Ba-ba-dum, ba-ba-dum. Okay, crafting system. Okay, this one's kind of the things a player will craft, but some of the inspiration for this game comes from Pikmin by Nintendo, where the player finds ship parts to repair his ship. Whoops, excuse me. So I can see adding crafting adding mining and crafting to allow the player to come up with special add-on parts for their ship. To communicate with home and let them know his progress on the debt payback or power-ups for greater trade capabilities. Greater scanning capabilities, maybe even letting the player become overpowered with hacking space pirates. Crafting system. What else? Cooking is... Period. Cooking is... That's some great ideas, I guess. We'll just brainstorm, throw it out there, and see what you say, chat. GPT. Not talking to you, chat. I'm just kidding. Talking to everybody. Crafting system could be designed to allow the player to gather resources found throughout their travels in the universe and use them to create various items, upgrades, and add-ons for the spaceship. These resources could include materials obtained from mining, salvaging, and hunting, as well as rare resources that can be found in certain locations. Ooh, I like that. In fact, that's really good because in Starport GE, it was so cool to find like that. There's a few items. There's only like 5 of them, and if you find it, one of these items, and you add it to your ship, you get some really cool bonuses. And some examples of items a player could craft include ship upgrades. These upgrades could include improved weapons, better engines, more advanced communication equipment, enhanced scanning capabilities, among others. The player could craft power-ups to aid them in their trading and exploration endeavors, such as fast mining tools, improved trading, better hacking. That's awesome. Food and consumables. The player could craft food and other consumables by using the resources obtained from hunting, other resources found in their travels. Alien resources. The player could also craft foods and the alien creatures they encounter, which could be valuable or worth spending on the market demand. Or the usefulness of the material. By allowing the player to gather resources and craft items, the crafting system could add an extra layer of depth to the gameplay and incentivize the player to engage in exploration, trading, and hunting. Exactly. Exactly. I just think it'll be fun, but yeah. Okay, the crafting system. Chat, you are... GPT, you are helping me put together a picture in my brain of my game. Ship upgrades. Okay, what else? Where was it at? Depending on market demand or just plain usefulness of the resource. There we go. Because it could be just something like, I don't know, the part of the animal that the alien creature that aliens don't like to eat, but it is viable meat. They just don't prefer it, you know. Or it could be just the choice part, you know. Overview of the character progression system and ship abilities. Yes. Questing system. Okay, so this right here makes me think of like in a lot of games, like especially like Skyrim has an amazing Skyrim's a good one. What are some other ones? Where you up your skills. You get skill points and then you go into a skill system The skill tree, yeah. Okay. I hadn't really thought too much about this, I think, other than expanding the trading, but now a lot of stuff's coming into play here. Okay, we gotta craft a prompt here. Hold on. Foop. Okay. We can keep track of a lot of things, like that dynamic damage counter. We could do a dynamic food counter, like, you know, all kind of stuff. Like modded Minecraft has really cool player tracking. You know, like eat all the different types of foods. You know, visit all the different biomes. And I really like that. I really like the idea of quests and rewards. The skill tree in Skyrim is awesome. I'm just gonna put that. I don't know what to do. ChatGPT, come up with it. Those are just my ideas. Should I have said based on this conversation, or is it going to come up with something? Uh-oh. It's really pausing now. Why is it pausing? Is it going to break? Is it going to crash? It's already been an hour. Excuse me, I've done a bunch of questions and stuff. I don't know if there's a limit, or maybe I've reached the limit and it's like, you know, let's wait until tomorrow to do this. Not sure what it's doing. Not sure what it's doing. Whoops, I missed that one. Oh, I don't feel like doing a Clash of Code either. I think I might lay down again and take another nap before work. I already slept 6 hours, but I might sleep some more. It doesn't appear to be working at the moment. I tell you what, I'll do this one last prompt, but we're gonna refresh here. Give ChatGPT a chance to catch up to its okay. Save and submit. Oh, here it goes. We got it. See what it comes up with. I really didn't brainstorm that much, but yeah, this is really cool, and it doesn't have to be fancy at first. It can be really simple at first, like one or two things, and then as I get into it, I can add like Skyrim, add 100 billion things to it, you know. But initially, it can be very simple. So all these things that I'm coming up with, all this brainstorming, everything can be dumbed down to really simple, basic, super simple. Doesn't have to be complete. When I first put it in, like for the demo that I would work towards. Okay, and I like that. I really like that. Just thinking about this here, inventory management, sorting is a priority. That is one thing that I have never understood. Why doesn't Minecraft have sorting? And infinite storage. That's. Let me talk to ChatGPT on this one. I think the players should work towards infinite storage, but I want it to be really easily achievable, I think. I don't know. I want the player to work towards achieving infinite storage. We can call it some quantum storage or something. What else for the storage? Excuse me. That's just initially some of my thoughts on storage. The inventory management system in the tutorial will be a key feature that allows players to manage their resources and inventory effectively. The system should include a robust sorting feature to make it easier for players to organize and manage their items. The goal is to provide players with the ability to achieve infinite storage through advancements in their skills and progress. This can be achieved through the use of quantum storage or similar concepts that allow players to store unlimited items. Players will also be able to build portable storage units anywhere, including on different planets, allowing them to store resources and items for later use. The game will also feature robot workers that can be programmed to fill and manage these storage units, providing players with greater flexibility in managing the resources inventory. Overall, the inventory management system will provide players with a convenient and efficient way to manage the resources inventory and items, making the gameplay experience more enjoyable. That was just a thought, but yeah, we'll just put it in there. It's brainstorming after all. And the game design document is subject to change. Shoot, all this thinking about the game, I might actually start working on it again. I mean, I've been working on it, but, you know, really getting good stuff going. Questing system. Really cool stuff. Actually, just thinking about ChatGPT, wouldn't it be really cool to have a NPC character that can chat with you? And all the characters in the game, you know, can chat with you like ChatGPT. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? They'd all have a personality. And they could understand your quest. They can understand the different things you're trying to do at different times. And dynamically do unpredictable stuff. That would be really cool. Adaptable based on player progression. There we go. This idea of the NPC personalities being dynamic and adaptable on player progression and current tasks can be included in the NPC interactions and behaviors section of the game design document. Oh. Where's that at? Do I have that? Are we adding it in? We're adding it in. NPC personalities? I added that. Ba-da-dum, ba-dum, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-da-dum, ba-dum. This section should describe the types of NPCs present in the game, their motivations, and how they will interact with the player. In this case, it would also be important to outline how the NPC personalities will change and adapt. Oh, that's a good idea. Okay, here we go. Dynamic NPC interactions. Okay. Okay. I'm going to put this statement at the bottom of the document because I really like it. But it just gave me the addition to the document that I can add, so we're not going to really worry about keeping that too much. But excuse me. I'll just put keep for now. There we go. And then let's go up here, and so I know there's an alien NPC personalities. I put it under art style, but let's put it somewhere else. Like up here, questing system, secondary mechanics, management system, character progression, overview of the crafting. Let's add it here, secondary mechanics. Let's add it before secondary mechanics, so let's make it H, and then this will be I. Sure, as a continuation of the previous note, you can add a section called Dynamic NPC Interactions. There we go. Where you can describe the various ways NPCs in the game will interact with the player and the consequences of those interactions. This section can cover topics. The variety of NPCs includes helpful, deceptive, and neutral. How NPC personalities will adapt to the player progression, current tasks, and quests. The impact of player actions on NPC behavior, such as helping or hindering the player's goals. The role of NPC personalities in driving the story and influencing the player's choices. Okay. That's great. That sounds great. There we go. We're just going to leave that as kind of a brainstormed sentence. That's fine. Okay, so questing system. Oh, I was going to end after this, but let's do... It's going pretty well, and ChatGPT didn't lock up, so... I slept for 6 hours. I think I'm pretty good for work, but I don't work until 3, so I could probably go for another 20 minutes and take a nap after that, but I don't know. Questing system. See, this is getting really cool. I want the quests to be optional, but initially they are more important for easy progression into the gameplay, though still not absolutely required. And I also want them to be focused on education about gameplay from the start. Let's just put that out there like that. I like how I can just brainstorm into ChatGPT, hit enter, and then it provides this really nicely crafted explanation of what I just rattled on about. So it's not actually coming up with too many more of the ideas, but it is, but it's just mostly my stuff. Shoot, it's going on. I haven't even started reading it. Questing system will be a key feature in guiding the player through the game, providing an immersive experience. It will serve as an introduction to the game mechanics, and the players will learn about different aspects of the game through completing quests. That's perfect. Quest system will have two main components, tutorials and optional quests. See, just writing this out like this, I feel like I'm hashing this out with a fellow dev. This is crazy. This is so... Oh, I can't believe... Okay. Tutorials will be mandatory for new players and will provide step-by-step instructions to help them get started with the game. Not mandatory, but almost completely... Yeah, probably mandatory, whatever. There's just a few tutorials will be mandatory, but optional quests will be available throughout the game and will provide opportunities for players to explore and learn more about the game world. These quests will be designed to be engaging, visually appealing, and educational. Quest system will also include rewards for players who complete quests, puzzles that will challenge the player, and the possibility of positive or negative consequences based on the player's actions. Quests will offer a variety of challenges, including combat, exploration, crafting, puzzle solving, and providing a well-rounded experience for the player. To enhance the player's experience, the quest system will also include an NPC personality system that will adapt based on the player's progression and recent activities. Oh, that's cool. This will add an element of unpredictability and keep players engaged in the game. That's awesome. In conclusion, the questing system will be a key component in providing an immersive and engaging experience with the player. Okay. In conclusion, we can leave that in. I feel like I'm using this to present to a publisher, but I'm not going to use a publisher, like, at all. At least I don't think. That sounds great. All that sounds really great, and it's really... I like the idea of the quest system also including an NPC personality. So it's not just a stamped out quest system, but it's going to have personality to it. And then this dynamic alien personalities is really cool. Let me see. I wonder if AI could help with that. Secondary mechanics, survival, oxygen, and fuel. Okay. Let's talk about that. Let's... What was that? What was that game? Breath of the Wild. Let's see what it comes up with when I say that. I don't know. Food, oxygen, and fuel management. For food, we could take inspiration from Minecraft and include a cooking and crafting system where players gather resources and use them to create food items to sustain their health. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild's cooking mechanics could also be incorporated where players can experiment with ingredients to create different dishes with varying effects. Yeah, that's really cool. And I was thinking of the when it creates a little sound and it does the food does a little dance in the pot as it's cooking. For oxygen, we could borrow the system from No Man's Sky, where players have a limited supply of oxygen when they venture outside their ship, and they must find or craft sources of oxygen to replenish their supply. For fuel, we could use a similar system as No Man's Sky, where players need fuel to travel from planet to planet, and they must manage their fuel supplies and find or purchase more fuel as needed. The fuel system could also be tied into the trade system, as players could purchase fuel from NPC traders or trade for fuel with other players. Overall, these survival mechanics would add a level of depth and challenge to the game, requiring players to manage their resources and make strategic decisions about where and when to venture out. Okay, that's really great. Let's change this one to be survival mechanics. And just go like this. Oops. Did I delete it? Okay, good. We're still got it in the clipboard. Okay. Oop. This is really great. Okay, I'm up to an hour and a half. I think I'm going to end that, but this has been a really great brainstorming session. Thank you to Shigaman and Slavic Dota for coming in. Got some great ideas, including the dynamic damage counter, and I think that's really cool. Though it will be an optional thing, of course, but... Okay, so I am yawning. Let's see if I can... I don't know, I'll lay down, take a nap, maybe, whatever. I got my alarm set, so I'm not going to miss work. I was late yesterday. Anyways, thanks everybody for tuning in. I'm working on the game design document. Looks like we got quite a ways to go, so this is really, really good. I can't believe I've already got 270 lines already of game design. And it really has... kind of opened up my mind as to what I can actually do and what I should do. And we need to think about making a really basic version of this, maybe cutting out a lot of this stuff and putting in just the basic core and going from there and adding and adding and adding, and you know, later on as the versions go on, because I want to get something out to market probably within a month, because I'm starting to feel like I've been at my new job for a month, so I kind of have a feel for what that's going to be like, and now I can actually start to work on game dev in addition to doing my job, instead of just focusing 100% on learning my new job. So we're gonna do some more, probably this is looking like 2 or 3 more streams of just going through and hashing this out with ChatGPT. I kind of want to continue on for another hour, but I gotta lay down and relax before work. So anyways, thanks everybody. For the people watching on YouTube, thank you for tuning in and watching on YouTube. I appreciate it. I get some great views out of there, so thank you guys. If you have any questions or comments, leave a like, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment. I'd love to see all the comments. They're just great. People are so motivating for keeping me going on this. Really appreciate everybody in my community and people just joining the community. For people who don't know, let me show you a little bit really quickly. What I'm following Pirate Software here. This is his stream. Let me show you him real quick because he's really cool. Let's pause the music since I'm about to end the stream. This is Thor, guys. He's really great. He's got a huge community because he is really great with game dev. He streams from Pacific time 1 in the morning until Pacific time 10 in the morning. On most days, he does great gameplay. He does great gameplay because he used to be a gameplay programmer for Blizzard, and he used to work for the Department of Energy and hack power plants, and just overall just an amazing guy. And he wrote this amazing nerd is what he is. He wrote this develop.games website for budding game developers. Game dev, streaming, I don't think he has anything on streaming yet, but he's still working on that. He's got a game jam that he does every 3 months. He just ran one. I was going to participate, but then I got my job, so I'm thankful I got my job. But the game jam was kind of fun to get involved with, and I'll probably do the next one in April or March whenever it comes up. But he's got an extensive site on what does it take to be a game dev. You don't need to be an amazing artist. What does it take to be a game dev musician? You do not need to be an amazing musician. What does it take to be a game dev programmer? You don't need to be an amazing programmer. And he goes into all the tools, the art programs, the engines. There is no best art program, you see. He's really, really good. He knows his stuff. There is no best music program. See, he takes everything that you think you know about game dev and he just takes a chisel to it and he shatters away the outside, the exterior, that rock that we think we can't get to that core and we think we can't do it. But you know what? It is doable. And I'm going to do it. He talks about everything and they're really great. All the way down to launching your game. See what he's got down here? So, anyways, yes. No, seriously, yes. There's so many different places. So, anyways, that is my spiel on Thor because I think he's great and I really love watching him and seeing him interact with his community and build his games online and play games online. And he also does, he is a Minecraft mod game dev. He makes his own mods for Minecraft, which is awesome. But anyways, this is what I'm doing for now. We're working on the Space Trader. We are going to make an awesome Space Trader. And thanks everybody again for tuning in. Let's see if we can end the stream here.